సీరియస్నెస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఆ సీరియస్నెస్ ఉంటే ప్రతి మనిషి గ్యారంటీగా సక్సెస్ అవుతాడు. మనమందరం కూడా ఇంకా మంచి ఫ్యూచర్ ఉంది మన పిల్లలకు. మనం ఇంకా గొప్పలు కావాలి. మన స్టూడెంట్స్ అంతా కూడా గొప్పలు కావాలి. ప్రపంచంలో మీకు ఇంకొక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పి కథం చేస్తా. టాప్ డాక్టర్స్ అయినా, టాప్ సైంటిస్టులు అయినా, టాప్ ఇంజనీర్స్ అయినా, టాప్ ఐటీ పీపుల్ అయినా ఎవరు? మన ఇండియన్స్, మన తెలంగాణ. మోస్ట్లీ మన తెలంగాణనే. ఎందుకంటే 50 ఏళ్ళ సంది చూస్తున్నాను నేను. ప్రతి ఒక్క టాప్ పొజిషన్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళంతా మన తెలుగు వాళ్ళే. మనకు తెలివితేటలు ఎక్కువ కాబట్టి మనం ప్రపంచాన్నే లీడ్ చేస్తాం. వచ్చే రోజులలో ప్రపంచం అంతా కూడా మన తెలంగాణ వాళ్ళే ఉంటారు. మనం అసలు ప్రొడక్షన్ మనం స్టూడెంట్స్ని తయారు చేస్తాం. మనం చాలా ముందుకు పోతాం. ప్రపంచంలోనే ఇప్పుడు ఇండియాలో నంబర్ 1 తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రం. రేపు ప్రపంచంలో నంబర్ 1 సిటీ ఏదైనా ఉంటే హైదరాబాద్. జై తెలంగాణ, జై కేసీఆర్, జై కేటీఆర్.
The hero's welcome he received already announced Mr. Ktr Ramarao, but it is my pleasure to formally introduce him on stage. May I request Ktr Ramarao, also known as KTR, the Minister for Industries and Commerce, for Information Technology, Electronics and Communications, as well as Municipal Administration and Urban Development of Telangana, Mr. Ktr Ramarao, to please join us on stage and talk about his vision for innovation in Telangana.
Thank you, guys. Good evening. Good evening. మల్లారెడ్డి గారు మాట్లాడిన తర్వాత నేను మాట్లాడాలంటే కొద్దిగా ప్రాబ్లమే. ఎందుకంటే ఎట్లుంటుందంటే మల్లారెడ్డి గారు మాట్లాడిన తర్వాత ఇంకెవరు మాట్లాడాలంటే కూడా తెలంగాణ భాషలో చెప్పాలంటే యాటకూర తిన్న తర్వాత తోటకూర తిన్నట్టు ఉంటుంది. లేదు కొద్దిగా స్టైలిష్గా చెప్పాలి అంటే ఒక సూర్యకుమార్ యాదవ్ బ్యాటింగ్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఈ మధ్యన స్లో బ్యాటింగ్ ఎవరు చేస్తున్నారో నాకు తెలియదు, వాళ్ళు చేసినట్టు ఉంటుంది. మల్లారెడ్డి గారు, మీతో మేము మ్యాచ్ కాలేము. మీరు సోషల్ మీడియా స్టార్. మీరు మిమ్మల్ని మ్యాచ్ అయ్యే కెపాసిటీస్ మాకు లేవు. బట్ థ్యాంక్ యూ ఆల్ ఫర్ staying in even though we are late. Good evening. Delighted to be here. In fact, I was in the district this morning. I had to run around a bit, but MS made sure that I came and attended this event. So thank you, MS, for chasing me, for following up, for making sure I'm here. To the entire team of T-Hub and to all the innovators, to everybody who's gathered here, a very good evening. Very pleased to be here at the T-Innovation Summit 2023-24. You can see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of people that I keep running into at various events. Thank you very much for attending this event and for making this very, very special. Of course, I've been following it online. I've been looking at some of the streams. A special shout out, at this summit to Louise Leakey, to Anil Seth, Sir Marcus Du Soto, for presenting their great ideas, connecting the past, present and future. I think they deserve a huge round of applause from all of us. Thank you so much, Louise, Anil, and Sir Marcus for joining us at this event. This networking confluence themed The Gladiators of Mind brings together three of the most extraordinary names in science from across the world on one stage for an electrifying evening of ideas and innovation. I understand that the theme today covers the past, present, and the future. Of course, as we all know, evolution is the ultimate form of innovation, ultimate act of innovation that plays out across millennia. Generative artificial intelligence, generative AI, is now the talk of the town in today's world, where there are limitless possibilities to human innovation through the support of AI. Today, innovation in the field of math, science, and arts underpins all creativity and has the power to shape human destiny. A friend of mine once told me that there are two kinds of people in the world, artists and scientists. But I do believe sincerely when I say this, I do believe that the lines are now marring. I don't think you can define a human either as an artist or a scientist anymore. I think you are a mishmash. You're essentially an amalgamation of the best of both, especially after AI has come into our lives and the kind of revolutionary changes that we get to see every day in our day-to-day lives. I think it is now a myth. Today, I have to take my mind 10 years back, because as we stand celebrating Telangana entering the 10th year after the formation of state, after attaining statehood, my mind does dart back to that date and time when we actually went out. I remember Mohan Reddy Garu and all of us. I assumed office as a Minister for Information Technology on the 2nd of June 2014, right on the day the state was formed. Very next day, in fact, I think it was the 3rd of June 2014, we all ended up at IIIT Hyderabad and Indian School of Business Hyderabad. We brainstormed, we sat together, we ideated, we started asking questions. We said, how can we make Hyderabad a much better place? How can we make sure Hyderabad's ecosystem becomes one of the best in India to spur innovation, to encourage young innovators? 10 years ago, we had realized that innovation is a combination. It doesn't work in isolation. It's a combination where great innovation, never ever occurs in a single field of expertise, but it is a synthesis across domains. I keep saying this wherever I go, promoting Hyderabad, promoting the state of Telangana. I keep saying Telangana is where the north of India meets the south of India. Telangana is where biology meets technology. Telangana is where life sciences meets data sciences, where paratha meets dosa, where mangoverse meets metaverse. But I think this applies to innovation as well. In today's world, technology per se doesn't work in isolation. Innovation doesn't work in one sphere of technology. It cuts through various disciplines. It works. It has to, if you have to innovate, it has to be synthesized, cutting across different sectors of life, and ensure that you carry forward all stakeholders, irrespective of where they come from. Investors, policy makers, corporates, mentors, academicians, and most importantly, entrepreneurs under one roof. As I've always maintained, as I've always said in the past, we are a startup state, and I take great pride in having built India's leading innovation network over the last 10 years, with all of your support and blessing. Hyderabad today is a testimony in itself about the power of innovation and entrepreneurship. Gives me great pride when, I see the kind of compliments and I see the kind of comments. Some, of course, once in a while you get trolled, that's all right. It's part of life, right? But when I start reading the comments in LinkedIn or Insta or Twitter, I think, as I've said in one of my television interviews recently, unfortunately, I've become one of those guys who has to spend about 3 to 4 hours every day in social media. So I do hear, I do listen, I do look up what people have to say, what kind of feedback people have to give. I latch on to good ideas. I ignore, those who troll unnecessarily, who don't offer constructive inputs or constructive criticism. Of course, those who are offensive, I immediately block them. That's a different story. That's another story for another day. The point I'm trying to make is, governments, stakeholders, policy makers, we have to be attentive. We have to be listening. We have to be hearing to all kinds of possibilities that can emanate from ideas that can come from anywhere in the world. That's exactly what we've done over the last 9 years. We worked closely with the industry. We worked closely with academicians. We work closely with innovators across the globe. Whenever we travel to the US, to UK, to other parts of the world, we have made it a point to ensure that T-Hub, V-Hub, TSIC, RICH, T-Works, the entire spectrum of Telangana innovation ecosystem is also represented, is also given an opportunity to ensure that we continue to create more and more opportunities for our youngsters and our young innovators in Telangana and in India. And I also sincerely believe when I say this, we have just made a beginning. What we've done in the last 9 years, we've barely scratched the surface. I think the potential of T-Hub, the potential of the innovation ecosystem in Hyderabad, you'll start seeing the results. You'll start seeing the astounding performances that are, that are lined up, in my humble opinion, in days to come. It's not always about unicorns. It's not always about the billion-dollar valuations. It's also about the impact one can create on the ecosystem. If you look at Hyderabad's youngsters today, Hyderabad's innovation ecosystem today, some of them have really made their presence felt. I don't want to name one single name and disappoint others, so I'd refrain from that. But I can tell you there are a number of brilliant stories, which have come out of nowhere, literally, and have become literally the poster childs and poster stories, of how well one can do if one applies to innovation. Like I said, this is just the beginning. We promise to touch every heart and soul who has an ounce of entrepreneurial zeal within them. We have a lot more to be done, like I said, and the only way to achieve it is, I can't say this enough, by collaborations. We have to work together, we have to collaborate, we have to ensure that there is no duplication of effort. This year, on the Foundation Day of Telangana, we have announced the astounding results of what we've been able to achieve in the technology sector. Let me reiterate, let me share it happily again. Telangana has surpassed all expectations with remarkable exports and the creation of a significant number of new IT jobs. Just to put things in perspective, back in 2014, our IT exports were 56,000 crores from Telangana. This year, in May, they have risen from 56,000 crore to 2,41,000 crores. Quadrupled. In terms of year-on-year growth, that's about 31.44%, 31.44%. And let me also add, India's national average compared to the 31.44% has been 9.36%. So that goes to show you how Telangana has had an explosive growth. Let me also add, not only in terms of exports, but even in terms of job creation. I say this with a lot of pride. When Malla Reddy Garu said we surpassed Bangalore, he wasn't exaggerating. The last 2 years, Telangana and Hyderabad have been leading from the front, leading the charge from the front when it comes to job creation. Last year, according to NASSCOM, out of the total technology jobs created in India last year, 33% came from Hyderabad. Out of the 450,000 new jobs, 150,000 were created in Hyderabad, 146,000 were created in Bangalore. And this year, the story gets even better. Out of the total jobs created in India, according to NASSCOM, 44%, a staggering 44%, are from our beautiful city, Hyderabad. It's literally 1 in 2 jobs created in India coming from Telangana. Like I said, we've barely scratched the surface. This story is just unfolding. I'm a super confident citizen of Telangana who believes that this city of Hyderabad, the state of Telangana, is poised and is ideally kind of positioned itself for a rapid growth in years to come. And the fundamental reason that I attribute this to is stable governance and able leadership. Under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, we have had an all-round balanced growth. Today, not only in IT exports do we see this phenomenal stellar growth, we also see equally impressive growth in agriculture exports and agriculture production. That's the balanced, well-rounded, holistic, integrated and inclusive model that I keep talking about. If you look at Telangana as a state, our population is the size of Malaysia. Our geography is the size of South Korea. And the kind of results we've been having compared to the rest of India is nothing short of astounding. Just to put things in perspective, we're less than 2.5% of India in terms of population, but we contribute to 5% of India's GDP. We are, I keep saying this, the most successful startup of independent India, startup state of independent India. The reason why I say this is because the kind of growth we've had, our GSDP, the gross state domestic product, in 2014 was 5,05,000 crore. And as of this year, March 31st, it is 13.27 lakh crores. Our per capita income in 2014 was 1,12,000 rupees. As of March 31st this year, it's the highest in India, 3,17,000 rupees. Not only does this point you to the growing affluence, growing riches in the state of Telangana, but it also shows you that a state can achieve a lot with stable governance and able leadership. The last thing I'll tell you, not only have we grown in the technology sector in the urban areas, we are now decentralizing. We are moving to tier 2 towns. I thank Mohan Reddy Garu and Tech Mahindra and a number of other companies, Genpact, Mindtree, Quadrant, Softpath, and a number of others who have set up shop in Warangal. Recently, Sonata Software has announced that they'll be setting up a center in Nalgonda. Also in Karimnagar, we are having 3M, which is one of the world's leading healthcare companies. They're setting up a center in Karimnagar. So I do believe that the story has just begun. We have barely scratched the surface. In terms of innovation, I do believe that there is a lot more to be done, but that can only happen by way of collaborations. I would like to conclude by thanking each one of you for being part of this domino effect. You're part of writing a new chapter in the history of startup innovation. Thank you. Jai Telangana, Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Ramarao, and those are extraordinary figures by any metric. It is also a privilege this evening to announce Innovate Telangana, which is an initiative by T-Hub aimed at discovering and accelerating the most promising startups from the state, giving them access to incubation support, to value partners, to angels and VCs, to mentors and grant support. Innovate Telangana, just to give you a brief glimpse before we invite Mr. Ramarao back to inaugurate it. Innovate Telangana will be held across 33 districts and spread over 120 days, identifying 5 clusters with as many as 800 startups expected to partake in the district level events and solve or put forth solutions to regional, national and global level problems. I think it is a singular hallmark of innovation in Telangana and of Innovate Telangana that it seeks to solve very real world problems. In the final leg, the top 10 startups will be invited to T-Hub for a grand ceremony, followed by incubation under different T-Hub programs. It is my pleasure and privilege to invite up back on stage Mr. Ktr Ramarao to launch formally Innovate Telangana and kick off this fabulous new cycle of acceleration. Joining KTR back on stage, may I request Mr. Ranjit Reddy, Mr. Seemala Reddy, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, Mr. M.S. Rao, whom we haven't yet had on stage, but welcome on stage Rohan Chatwal, Harshvardhan, Director Tech Finder, Mr. B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, Board Member of T-Hub, Wing Commander Anish Antony, CDO T-Hub, and Mr. Vijay Babra, Senior Director Startup Innovations at T-Hub. May we have all of you on stage, gentlemen, to launch formally Innovate Telangana. May we also invite on stage the Chief Innovation Officer of T-Hub, Mr. Sujit. request you, sir, on stage just to give a token of appreciation to the speakers. May I have back on stage Louise Leakey, Anil Seth, Marcus Dusotoy, and somebody you will have the privilege of seeing after our break, a most riveting performer, and I promise you, I think Anil earlier made the point that there is no left brain, right brain dissonance. He is an exemplar of art that marries all kinds of traditions, and I think there is no place like Hyderabad that can appreciate science and art in equal measure. So also may I have on stage Mr. Mahmood Farooqi, whom you will see right after the break.